It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show, episode 14 for December 1st, 2006. I'm Bob, and joining me today is Chad.
Hello, all wonderful, great people. I'm very happy right now.
The mighty Oot Keith.
Greetings, mortals.
Ivan.
Are you mined for fish? Want to cyber?
And a very special guest, courtesy of Microsoft, Chris Paladino.
Hi.
In GamerCast Network community news, be sure to check out our Medal of Honor Airborne giveaway at www.gamercastnetwork.com/MOH. This time around, we're asking our listeners to make the GamerCast Network a propaganda poster in the styles of those from World War II. The top 3 winners will receive prize packs consisting of either PC games, PlayStation Portable games, or Xbox games. Go check out Gamertag Radio episode 79, where this week Godfrey interviews the owner of Next Gen Wars. And also, Godfrey brings you some past audio coverage from 2001 of the GameCube and original Xbox launches. And finally, be sure to listen to the Uncle Gamer Radio episode number 10 this week, where our own Keith will be talking on their show.
Yes!
Next topic.
Okay, so while Chris is here...
Hi.
Hi.
Long time no chat.
So, what has Microsoft been treating you to?
Oh,
Chocolate, pastries,
all of
hookers.
the above. Well, maybe not that one. I'm on the Xbox community team, and we've done a lot. One of the things that has happened since we last spoke, of course, the console war is in full swing now. The Nintendo Wii and the PlayStation 3 are both out at retail. Well, they're out. I don't know about at retail, but they're been launched. Man, there's a lot going on. I can't talk about much or any of it at all. What I will say is, honestly, the Xbox community team is very, very good about representing the gamer. We're in all kinds of meetings and ideas going around to see how we can best think about the gamer. And I know that sounds so cheesy, and it does sound biased, and I guess now would be a good time to say, yes, I work for Microsoft. I am on the Xbox community team, so read that as you will. I've been called biased, but, well, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to be at this point.
Yeah.
So she flushed away.
Yeah.
Wow, that was great, dude.
Can you mention at least some of the things you've been doing since you're part of the Xbox community now? I mean...
I've hit the ground running. It's so busy, especially this time of year. We're getting ready for CES. It's coming up in early January. The holiday sales time is happening. I mean, of course, Gears just dropped, as well as Vegas is out now, and Viva Pinata is out, and all these games are out. And so it's a good time to be a gamer, and it's a very busy time to work for the games industry.
What exactly do they have you doing?
Basically, what we do on our team is we get feedback from the community via web pages, via forums, via emails and IMs and PMs to us, comments in forum threads, any way that we can get in touch with people. We listen to podcasts, and what we do is we take that feedback, especially about specific issues that they're wondering about the executive level above us, and we get that information to the correct people.
What type of forums do you usually peruse or browse when you're going to look for these issues? Is there like just the Microsoft ones, or do you go off into the GamerCast Network forums?
On our team, we have 4 people, 3 full-time and a part-time, and we split up the forums amongst them. I'm responsible for Team Xbox as well as NeoGAF. To be fair and honest, I go to all over the place. I usually visit, places like Evil Avatar. I visit places like the GamerCast Network forums. I visit Joystick, Kotaku, One-Up, all these websites that are all the usual suspects.
Speaking of Joystick, I noticed that they had actually pimped your name on one of their articles recently.
Yeah, that was an interesting day for me.
That was the day I almost got in a lot of trouble.
What issue was that concerning?
There was some miscommunication about Xbox Live Marketplace, Video Marketplace launched, which in a quick summary means you can download HD content and standard definition content, television shows, episodes of things like Robot Chicken and stuff. The movies and videos you can get as rentals. What was going on was people were using accounts in a weird way that... Now, the problem is there were some rumors getting out there that we were actually banning accounts that were doing that. So people were freaking out because they think, oh my gosh, if I've ever done these techniques, I'm now banned from Xbox Live. So everyone was just completely freaking, and it was kind of chaos for a day. And on NeoGAF, I kind of addressed the thread and said, hey guys, just as an FYI, I don't know the details. We're still working on the details, but I do know for a fact we're not banning accounts. Well, after that, it became a big mess of legal involved, because there is, copyright laws and all kinds of other variables that I can't, personally. So the general guideline was, let's get the details and then we'll tell the community what exactly is going on. Well, it was too late. I already said it. So I started to see my name cropping up in places like, everywhere. Chris Paladino, Microsoft representative, says this or says that or says the other thing. And, just after being told, let's iron out these details, now everybody internal is saying, well, Chris said, and Chris said. I'm the new guy. I'm kind of going, what did I just get myself into?
Whoop, whoop, I didn't mean to say that.
The bottom line is no, I didn't say anything incorrect. Our very job is to go out there and to squash rumors and to hear feedback. So it's that first time that your name gets picked up and plastered across Joystick, Kotaku, 1UP, GameSpot, all of these different places. Even if you're 110% that you are correct about what you said, you start to freak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm admitting it, I was kind of in that full-on freak mode. Oh my gosh, what did I do? And they just told me, dude, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You are a community representative. You are out there, and you're supposed to clarify these rumors when you see them. So
what was the time frame like? I'm curious how fast word spreads on internet. Like, was it a matter of hours that you're like,
No.
oh god, or did it take like a day or two?
It was a Monday at about 10 a.m. our time. By 3, 4, 5 o'clock, it was starting to get picked up. While I have the ear of everyone, one of the things that we were starting to do at the Gamerscore blog, and if you guys haven't checked it out, that is a pretty good place where we do kind of clear up rumors in a large scale. It's gamerscoreblog.com. We had just recently done a recording of Michael Wolf, who's a PR guy for Games for Windows. We had all kinds of confusion over what does this mean? What is the branding going to be like? How is Shadowrun and Halo 2 for Vista all going to work? So we just recorded a podcast, and the podcast went up, and it's not something that we have on iTunes at this point, but I will put the link in your show notes if it's okay with you, and it's probably going to be something that we're going to be doing in the future a little bit more often. And it was good enough information in there that we put it out for everybody to listen to and get, all right, hey, now I clarified all of these things, and it was a good podcast, and it's a shame if people don't hear it, because I think there's an awful lot of good information for PC gamers out there and the whole Games for Windows push.
Next topic.
1 in 9 MMO players addicted. A study of over 7,000 online gamers have shown that 1 in every 9 show at least 3 signs of addiction. These signs include craving, tolerance, withdrawal symptoms, loss of control, neglect of other activities, etc. Why such a high rate of addiction for online gamers? The head of the study, Professor Mike Griffith, says the 24-hour-a-day, never-ending online games may provide a potentially addictive medium for those with a predisposition for excessive game playing. And I like how you can build up a tolerance. Like it's booze. Like before, when I was playing World of Warcraft, I could only play for 10 minutes, and I was good for a day. But that's almost right, because I think it's kind of built into the game. When you're level 1, level 2, you can level in like an hour and a half or so. When you're like level 45, if you don't have 3 or 5 hours to sit down and play, you're not even going to get anything done. So I don't know if that actually counts as addiction, more as like just gameplay, quote.
Good game design.
Good game design, that's what that is. Withdrawal symptoms. Just see some dude shaking in the corner. Must return to Azeroth. What's loss of control? Is that like piss yourself uncontrollably?
Somebody give me a towel.
You like all of a sudden develop Tourette's?
Or do you just develop Tourette's in game? So like you can't stop chatting in the window?
Neglect of other activities. Man, just my existence is neglect of other activities.
Next topic.
The cost of a PlayStation 3 game. The company Namco Bandai said that to develop their 2 PlayStation 3 titles, it cost approximately $8.6 million. And these 2 titles are Ridge Racer 7 and Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire. These titles are cost twice as much to develop as on a PlayStation 3 as they do on a Nintendo Wii. To break even on each title, they must sell 500,000 copies of each. The funny thing is, even though Sony hasn't released their worldwide numbers yet from their launch, there definitely was not 500,000 consoles going out.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure they didn't sell that many. And just because they sold them doesn't mean they function, so...
I read about this too, and currently the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 greatest hits had to have sold at least 400,000 copies. Already, they're putting themselves in a position where, in order to make money, already have to be a greatest hits title.
But what you're saying, though, is conceivably, if every person that owns a PlayStation buys 3 copies of the game...
Yes! They can break even. Yeah, so Sony's got some problems right now.
Got some problems. But they got a new president, though. He's going to iron everything out.
Next topic.
Let's go Nintendo and Wii's. Earlier this week, Nintendo president, Reggie Fils-Ames, was talking about how to handle your Wii. Well, this is because a lot of people were mishandling their Wii and hurting themselves in many funny ways.
You know, my sister works at a hospital, and, well, never mind. Go ahead.
So here were his 3 suggestions. 1,
Wash your hands.
when your hands get sweaty, wipe it off.
Oh, sweet God, that was one.
2nd,
Whoop, whoop. Stop this segment now.
no, we persevere here. We're going forward. 2nd, you have to make sure you're using your wrist strap appropriately.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop.
And 3rd, don't let go of the Wii when you're pitching in baseball or bowling.
You know what makes that even funnier? Rather than the obvious thing you're thinking about, if your Wii is actually a very small person. Let's read that again.
Okay, if your Wii is a small person.
1, when your hand gets sweaty, wipe it off. 2nd, you have to make sure you're using the wrist strap appropriately. And 3rd, don't let go of the Wii when you're pitching or you're bowling.
It works. It works.
It works both ways. You see what I'm saying?
Pepe the Peach Boy can't get it over his flippers.
Next topic.
I have a question.
Yes. You in the
So-
back.
Microsoft Chris,
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
turned my
Intercast Network
Xbox 360 on today and it said that there was an update available. Would I like to download it? What was in that update?
Oh, off the
Tell
top of
me
my
now.
head, a bunch
Now.
of stuff.
Tell
I
me.
know that the
Now.
1080p issue with certain televisions was in fact fixed. I want to say that there were some wired headset fixes done. There was a bunch of
Like
stuff.
with
Honestly,
the Gears of War thing where like you couldn't hear somebody for no apparent reason?
no, I don't believe that was one of the fixes that had been.
Well, lovely then. So an issue that nobody knew about was fixed. That everybody knows about
That's called being proactive, Ivan. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of it.
No,
It's
he
called
works
being-
What about reactive? The issue that everybody knows is out there. How
I'm
come they
doing
haven't
that
fixed
right
that
now.
one yet?
It's called avoiding the issue. No,
Oh, okay.
It's called being diplomatic.
To be fair, I don't know off the top of my head. I know the update went out. One of the things I will say is a lot of people were saying it broke my console. It didn't break your console. I mean, guy,
We're not Sony.
Wait. What broke your console? The update that just was released?
yeah, every time a patch comes
Oh,
out, or a new game comes out, there's threads on the internet saying Dead Rising broke my machine, or the Lost Planet demo broke my machine, or Small Arms broke my machine. And it probably didn't. The chances are very
I don't know what
high.
happened. I downloaded Small Arms, and when I lifted up the console and dropped it, it broke. So Small Arms clearly broke my machine.
And that's part of my job, is to take that and get the issues that are hot. If stuff flares up in the community that people aren't aware of,
How come you make the issue sound like hemorrhoids? It's our job to take it, so when they flare up...
You apply the ointment directly to the affected area, and everything is fine.
Apply the patch.
update.
Apply
There is no
directly
such
to the
thing
forehead.
as a patch.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem.
Yeah, there's an issue in Rainbow Six Vegas now where there's cheating going on. I don't know how they're doing it, but you join a multiplayer game. They have frag grenades turned off on their server, but then you get in the game and all of a sudden you die and it says you died by a frag grenade. So somehow they're able to turn it off on their server, but find a way to enable them. So there's why do you have to cheat like that? There's
can I-
people out
can
there
I-
who want to win so bad that they will cheat at doing it.
All right, so in that specific instance where somebody's found a way to cheat, would you say rather you leave that console game alone, or would you rather it have a title update that could go ahead and figure out what the deal is and fix it?
No, I have no problem with patches on console games. Just don't deny that there's patches on console games.
Consoles are pretty much like computers now. They're gonna have
Dude,
patches.
everything, yeah.
Just don't try to dance around it by calling it an update.
The games are rushed out too soon. There's too much of a push to make a profit and get this stuff out into the marketplace as soon as possible, that, you know, if that's going to happen and you're not going to take the time, I guess you're going to have to do patches.
And let's be a little fair in that there are things that have been completely waited on and polished as good as they could be. There are bugs that just happen, too.
Yes.
I'm not...
But that's what I'm saying. I don't even care that they do that. It's just, don't try to dance around and say, no, we don't patch things, but here's an update.
Yeah, and then you look at the update. Well, what's the update fixing? Oh, it's fixing a bug, but isn't that a patch then?
Yeah, don't pretend. Don't pretend you're not a computer, because you are.
You are, these consoles are computers.
And guys, as a gamer, I like the way PC does it in that they release the patch notes. They say, here's what was changed, and here's why.
Yeah.
Is there any way to find out what those patches are for? Or do they just say this is a patch?
That line of questioning was asked. I don't have a good answer.
So basically, no, we can't
They
know.
danced around the issue. Hey, yeah.
No, but I'm not blaming Microsoft in one thing. This is just consoles in general. They're at the point where they're computers. Just say they're like a computer, release patch notes, and patch them. Not saying Microsoft, Sony, anyone, just everyone.
Dancing around what it's called or what it isn't called, there are title updates. The title updates fix issues. I mean, read it as you will, you know what I mean?
But I want to see what it's changed. That's the thing.
And I understand, and we've heard it, Keith, and I don't have the answer because I'm not that high up the totem pole, but we know people do. We on the community team hear a lot of that stuff, like, well, what did you change? And why did you change it? What strategies were people doing? And then on the other side, people don't want to say because we fixed this issue because you could cheat by doing such and such. Well, hey, maybe I can try that in these other games. Oh, hey, cool, it works. I can cheat now in Halo, and I can cheat now in Ghost Recon and da-da-da-da-da.
Well, I don't think they even have to come out and say that how they did it. I think they should just say, there was one, we fixed it, it no longer happens.
Let me say this, then. The system updates say what we did. If you go and look at Major Nelson's page, for example, it will say, here is what was fixed in the latest system update, and it says like 1080p on certain TVs was fixed. Issue fixed with this, issue fixed with that. You know what I mean?
Chris, will you suggest then that you put that someplace more open instead of like putting it at Major Nelson or whatever it is? Put a list of it somewhere.
I doubt very much that they're ever going to put it. For example, when you reboot, it says, here is a README file. Would you like to do this? Because
not a README file, but as much as when you get the update, either push the button, say OK, or
see more details.
See more details, and then it just has a list or gives you a link to Major Nelson's site or something.
I mean, could it be done? Absolutely, it could be. I'm 110% with you guys. I am one of those types that I want to see exactly what did you do, and why are you doing this, and how come all of a sudden this thing is being updated? What are you not telling me here? I don't know that we'll ever get there.
Yeah, I mean, when there's a known update coming out that's announced somewhere, I don't have a problem with it. You know, when like I see on the Kotakus or the joysticks or the evil avatars, hey, there's a planned update in 2 days. Okay, that's fine. But it's when the weird ones come out that at the off times, like you turn on and there's an update.
Right. It would help my job because people online are speculating, hey, did it fix these two issues that I've been having for the last year that I think nobody ever knows of? And it doesn't tell you. And I totally understand what you guys are saying.
I'm glad my buddy showing up for the podcast has now turned into, oh good, let's flame Microsoft while he's here. We've only got an hour, get him.
Next topic.
There was an interview with EA CEO Larry Probst on the EA Marketplace Xbox Live microtransactions. One of the questions was, is EA milking its customers with the microtransactions in Need for Speed Carbon?
No, we're milking your customers with these gloves and this bucket to catch your money as we soak it from your teats. Next
precious teats.
He basically came back and said that the microtransactions with Need for Speed Carbon weren't generating as many complaints as they were with Madden and the first iteration of titles that use the microtransactions.
Yeah, they just don't answer the complaint. Don't open the complaint folder anymore. And we're not hearing anything anymore.
Because tolerance is a symptom of addiction. That's why.
He went on to say that the microtransactions with Need for Speed Carbon were making a lot more money, and basically he thought that Need for Speed Carbon is a title where EA is quote-unquote getting smarter about microtransactions.
Well, you know what? If no one's complaining and they're making a bunch of money, then I guess that's true.
If people like it and they dig it, then cool. Then buy it and mention, hey, this is great and wonderful. If people don't like it and they don't dig it, then do the opposite. Say, look, we're not going to buy it. But somebody had to buy it or they wouldn't continue to do it, right?
That's the thing. I mean, if people keep buying, EA is going to keep doing it.
All right, here's probably my next failed attempt at analogy. The butcher feeds the sheep, and even though the sheep know they're going to get killed, they keep going to the butcher to eat because that's the only place to eat.
I actually, that had a lot to do with what I was just
funny
about
and
to
more
say.
made sense.
Yeah, that was good.
I was just about to say that, you know what, here's the thing. You can't complain and be vocal on the forums and then go home and buy the crap anyway. See, it defeats the purpose because, money speaks louder than words. So the best way to get them to stop is to, I don't know, stop!
He was asked, why does EA feel the need for these microtransactions? And he basically started saying that
because my wallet isn't fat enough.
His reasoning was that to develop on these new next-gen platforms costs a lot, and they need a way to defer the costs, hence microtransactions.
That's something that is pretty important to note, and I know gamers probably don't care because all they see is that I'm paying $60 for a title, but the cost of gaming is going up, so they're trying to find different ways to do it. Now,
well, is it eventually going to get to a point where no one makes games anymore, just because the expectations are so high that no one can possibly make anything that's profitable?
And that's what I was going to say, is there's a lot of live arcade titles and a lot of indie developers that don't spend $10 billion on the title. Now, yes, the expectations are high, and it's 2006, and the cost has gone up. I'm not really defending them. What I'm going back to is it's all about choice. If you don't like it and you're going to witch about it, Bob said, you're not allowed to out in public stamp your foot and wave your fist in the air and then go home and say, well, I don't really agree with this, but you know what? I'm going to buy it anyways, because, what's the big deal? It's just me, one person.
It's just that the content that EA is releasing just is things that you can't get from the game itself. Most of the extra $40 with Need for Speed Carbon is things you can unlock just by playing the damn game.
So then what that tells me is that we're living in an age where people want the convenience and ease of just jumping in there, paying the $10 to get all this extra crap unlocked so they don't have to spend 10 hours to do it. Now, it's choice. Everybody that brings this up, the bottom line is if you do not like it, do not buy it. You're not going to waste the time and effort and all the pay of the people to upload this content to the server.
The last thing he had said about all these microtransactions, the question was asked of him, what is EA going to do with Sony's online services? According to him, they're trying to work through the details on Sony's platform. And when he clarified details, he said that EA has one business plan, Sony has something else, and they aren't seeing eye to eye, basically.
I see a lot of wringing of hands in the background. Yes, we have something in mind.
Now, will this be a good thing or a bad thing? How will the gamers benefit, or will they just be
the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Dealing with EA is like dealing with Beelzebub. You can't trust him, ever. No matter what, it will turn on you in some way, shape, or form.
But as I recall, a long time ago, wasn't it that EA was only releasing multiplayer games online with the Sony stuff, and then it took a while for them to get into the Xbox Live?
Yeah, the first several years of sports titles were not online.
But they were for the PlayStation 2.
Yes. EA and Sony were much closer than Microsoft and Sony were.
Next topic.
Fact or craps? There are 4 craps and 1 fact. Number 1, Capcom makes push for high-def TV. Apparently not learning or caring about the complaints of the text size in their hit game Dead Rising, Capcom has implemented the same text system in the upcoming game Lost Planet, where the text will be designed for a high-def TV and those playing on a standard TV will be left out in the cold.
That was a pun, huh? Because Lost Planet's cold.
Yeah, I know. That was I designed it that way. Number 2, counting the 07 game. John Madden has been whoring himself out now for 17 years. Number 3, Halo is coming to the comics. Bungie has recently signed a deal with Marvel Comics to produce a comic set in the world of Halo featuring Master Chief as the main character. Number 4, the console formerly known as Revolution has in place a virtual console that currently has 12 Nintendo games on it. And when I say Nintendo, I mean Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Now, I will interject here. When I was back on the other show, Bob made the rule that if it was actually 14 titles, you're not allowed to use that. Okay.
All the games are made by Nintendo. Number 5, the non-existent product formerly known as the Phantom Consoles accepting orders on their website for the Phantom Lapboard and 2 versions of the highly anticipated Phantom Game Service. A premium version which allows unlimited play, and a lesser version that limits number of titles you're allowed to play in one day for a reduced price. 4 of those are crap, and 1 of those is actually true. And Chad, you can leave the foray.
No, let me go, because I know the least. Chad reads the news, too. I want to pick the Phantom one, because I want to believe it's true. That would be funny. But my gut is telling me no. I will say that Captain Hamhock has been a whore for 17 years.
Captain Hamhock?
What it is, a turkey leg.
You see, what you gotta do in order to win a game is catch a football. That's how you win a game.
Usually the best strategy is to score more points than the other guy does.
These are all horrible Madden impressions. Okay, Chad?
Holding the Halo graphic novel in my hand. So I'm going to Halo one, I guess.
Okay. Ivan?
Wait, you're holding the comic in your hand?
Yes.
Well, then doesn't that automatically mean
Well,
it's
no,
true?
because I actually haven't read it, and it might not star the Master Chief. There might be a new title coming out that I don't know about.
Well, Master Chef is popular. The Capcom thing, I'm going to spoil it because I know that there were issues, but I think they released an update.
They could have done the EA approach and just said they didn't hear the complaints.
What? We didn't know anyone minded. I'm actually I'm gonna talk really in a really high voice. I'm gonna go with the Phantom console thing because I think it's funny, and I believe that they're so desperate that they do want people to sign up for their crappy online game service.
Okay there, Chris Island.
Okay.
Nice. Chris, the other Chris.
So I'm the only one left? All right, well, I know it's not Capcom. Special shout out to Brian from Capcom who snipes in Gears of War with the skills of the gods. I know it's not the Phantom console because they're selling the lap board, but they're not selling the console itself. That thing's out. I don't know that it's the Master Chief thing, although I'm not the universe's biggest Halo fan. John Madden, see, the thing with the John Madden is you're going to say no, it was X number of years, because he just had his 15th anniversary a little bit ago. I think that falls under Bob's illegal category.
No, he knows that law. It is word.
So it is written.
I'm going to say that John Madden is, in fact, been doing this for 17 years, because I think it's 16. But since Keith's not allowed to change the date...
Well, I didn't know that. Wait, he couldn't change numbers?
No.
That was Bob's rule.
Oh,
not allowed
the
to
rule.
change numbers.
It is law.
Oh, then hell, it's the Madden thing. I thought you changed
You
numbers.
already voted, though.
You've already voted.
That's just
I know now
your
for next
growing
time.
pains. Yes,
I
your
know
growing
now
pains.
for next time.
Number 2, John Madden has, in fact, not closed his legs for 17 years.
Sweet.
His first
I win.
version
It's been
of
a while.
football was released in 1989 for the Apple II as John Madden's Football.
Wow.
He didn't even get the NFL endorsement until 93. Number 1, Capcom makes the push for high-def TV. No, that's false. In fact, they did realize all the issues with Dead Rising and are, in fact, changed that. Halo coming to the comics? That's false. They are speaking with comic book people, one of them which include Marvel Comics. But everything is just in the initial phase. Nothing has...
But I will pimp the thing here, and there is a Halo graphic novel. Mr. Cards and Comics, Eli, Lyndhurst, Ohio. Have fun. Go buy your World of Warcraft from him.
The console formerly known as Revolution, with its virtual console, the 12 games that are released, not all of them are made by Nintendo.
Don't they have some Sega ones on there or some TurboGrafx?
Yes, they have. They have the 12 titles. 6 are from Nintendo, 2 are from Super Nintendo, 2 are from Genesis, Sega Genesis, and 1 is for Nintendo 64. Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, Soccer, Pinball, Wario's Wood, Solomon Keys, F-Zero, SimCity.
Wait. Wario's Wood?
Wario's Woods.
Yes, Wario's Woods.
Oh!
Multiple.
Wait, that doesn't make it better.
Altered Beast, Sonic, and Super Mario 64 are the other ones. The non-existent product formerly known as the Phantom Console. That's false. The Phantom Console game service isn't even available yet. Nor will there be 2 versions.
Nor will it ever be.
It's not done yet, so maybe there will be 2 versions. I don't know that. But they are selling the Phantom Lapboard, which they're asking $129.95 to purchase it. And it's basically a board with a wireless keyboard and mouse stuck to it.
The funnier thing is that Alienware actually went in with a business agreement for the Phantom Lapboards for their media PCs they're selling.
Yeah, I'm not completely against the Phantom Lapboard. I'll be honest, that's a pretty cool idea, and I like it, especially for, like Chad was saying, Media Center Edition for your living room where you don't have a ton of room. You just throw it on your lap and you dial in your little TiVo thing.
They're charging $130 for a board with a mouse and keyboard stuck to it.
It is wireless, though. I mean, a wireless mouse and keyboard from Microsoft costs, what, $70, $60, something like that?
40
and
from
a
Logitech.
board costs...
I gotta pimp my peeps, man.
See where I'm going with this? A board is what? $2.50, we'll say? $2.50? Well, small board. But that is your fact and crap for...
And now I know you can't change numbers, so next time I'll be ready.
Well, it's just considered a cheap tactic to...
Well, I with this group...
It's fact or crap etiquette.
Didn't know that. I'm all about watching for cheap tactics all around here.
Which there are many with us.
Next topic.
So, Chris, what about Halo 3 beta?
Oh, yeah. The beta is I think if you go to halo3.com, starting December 4th, there was some confusion with non-US, because I believe the website is US only. Don't freak out if you're not US. There are going to be other ways to get into the beta, so stop sending us bombs at Microsoft.
Has it come to that? Have people threatened you with bombs?
No, they actually haven't.
Just
They have, however, swore up and down all over the Gamerscore blog. To be completely honest, that's Bungie, dude. We're over here in the other building. But yeah, I could completely understand why people are very upset. But don't freak. It's coming.
And that was GamerCast Network Video Game Show episode number 14 for December 1st, 2007.
Whoa! We've just traveled time.
2006. Thank you.
No, thank you guys very much for having me on the show. If I could take a moment again to pimp, because we don't have a lot of hits on Microsoft's Gamerscore blog, and check out our podcast. Give us some feedback. Let us know if that's something you guys are interested in hearing about.
Yeah, I will this week attach a link from our page to your Gamerscore blog.
I'd like to thank Vicious696 and Liquid Life for pimping us over at the Uncle Gamer Radio.
I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, peeps. Laters.
Good night.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
What's the deal with everyone being a dick today?
Damn.
This is the new format for the show. Get used to it.
The new format for the show is everyone's a dick.
Damn straight.
How is that new?